Namaste all. Welcome to the crypto series. I hope you all are as much excited as I am about the series, and we'll go exactly the way we have mentioned in the introduction video, series by series, step by step. And today's video is category 1, video 1. That is category 1 is exploring all the basic terminologies in that. Today is video 1, and we are going to explain exact 5 terms, not more than that. And then we are going to increase the step by step. Okay. So what are the terms that we are going to learn today is hash, block, blockchain, distributed. Okay, and token. So the token that you see on my screen currently, let me zoom in a bit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this the token that we are going to discuss today is not this token. This is exactly like the block concept. So you must have heard of cryptocurrency, crypto coin, non-fungible token, NFTs, coin versus token. What is coin? What is token? So today, with the explanation or understanding of our final terminology, that is token, you'll be able to understand what is the different between the cryptocurrency, crypto token, and how is it useful for our because we are trying to understand it, how is it useful for us in analyzing, in the development, in the investment. So basically we'll get a clear picture. Now by the end of this video, whenever you heard of these you hear these terms: blockchain, distributed, peers, uh, tokens, coins, you will never ever get any sort of confusion. You will get a clear picture in your mind. Okay, now with that mentioned, let's get started with our first term, which is hash. Now before starting on this, I would just want to mention that uh, the credit of this content of this hash blockchain is goes to Andersbrownworth. He really visualized it very interestingly in a simplest possible manner. So, thank you, Andersbrownworth. And with that credit, let's go ahead and try to understand this. So, first of all, before understanding any blockchain, okay, let's see what is hash. Now one thing that to mention, that we have n number of various blockchains and number of different platforms. Like everything has its multiple versions. Bitcoin one blockchain, Ethereum one blockchain, like that we have n number of others. Like, so why do we have so many things? All this is because of the content or the functionality that is internally going on. Now since we have not discussed blockchain so far, let's put it aside for a moment and go in a sequence. So first, what is a hash? Okay, so if we give anything, okay, you give any input, you give any block, whether it's a media, whether it's a whether it's a simple photo, whether it's a data, whether it's a group of data, or whether it's a big file, zip, different media formats, doesn't matter. Whatever you give, it will generate some value of fixed length. Okay, now this fixed length is what uh, uh, is making the hash useful. One is the fixed length, and one it is one way. Like you give the input and then you get the hash, but the other way around it is not possible. So with this mention that you give the inputs and the hash is generated, it is useful in terms of security very much. Like tomorrow if you want to verify the credentials, just give the inputs that you think is correct and see the hash. Whether is the hash is same, excellent. If not, there is definitely some manipulation or the difference in the inputs that is given. Okay, with that mention, let's see. So let's say hi. Okay, so you see one hash is generated. Now I type hi anytime, anywhere, 100 years after. If I type hi and I use the SHA-256 algorithm, it is going to generate only this hash. Okay, even if the case is different, or case is different means what? The content is somewhat changed. So again, the hash is changed. So you give whatever the inputs, you will get a specific length. In our case, in SHA-256, we are getting 64 characters. You can, like, if you are already aware of it, then fine. But in general, you might, if you have query, I don't think you have, or if you have, let's see. So if you think that it is mentioning 256, so then why do we have only 64 letters? So 256 points to the number of bits. Okay, now each that is 256 but bits, but we have 64 characters. Now what is this bit? So every byte is made up of multiple bits. Now this is a 64-bit system. That's why each a character is equal to 1 byte, and 1 byte is equal to 4 bits. So that's how we have 64 bytes, which is equivalent to 256 bits. Okay, and we'll not go into much technical part of this. Just remember that whatever the inputs we are giving, we are going to get the fixed length output with the varying value based on the input given. That's it. Now we are going to use this hash in every part or every terminology. So the terminologies are arranged in such a manner that one needs to understand the first term before going to the next one. So here you need not to understand it completely, just the overall picture would be fine enough. So this was not required for the investment point of view, but this is for the conceptual or understanding point of view. Yeah, with that mention, let's move on to the next terminology, the second terminology, block. So if I go to blog, yeah, this is open source, so you can also visit this site. I'll put this link in the description and play with it. Okay, so now here we see a blog. So let's see, blockchain, meaning a network, a chain made up of blocks, right? So this is that block. Now let's try to understand this specific blocks, and then we'll see what could be a real-time block. Okay, so here I have a block number or block ID. Then I have some nouns. What is it? We'll see in a minute. And then finally we have a hash. So basically, going step by step, we'll say that using the content of the block, nouns, and data. Using these three things, we pass these three things as an input, as a content, and generate the hash. So if I say this is 123 and mine, so it is going to mine and generate a hash for me. Okay, now what it is actually doing when I click on mine, is it hashing it or what is it that it is doing? We'll try to understand that in a moment, but this is the actual block, so try to understand it very carefully. Okay, let's see this. So I have one, I have this, I'll try to enter some other content and I'll say mine again. Now why it is changing red, green, and this is actually happening in the blockchain. So everything that is happening on the screen is very much relevant to us. Okay, so whatever the content that I'm giving, okay, a hash is getting generated. So you see, I gave here something and the nouns value change. Now what is happening, we'll see. So step one, you understood that with the block number, nouns number, and data, the hash is getting generated. Okay, now here anyone can generate any type of hash, uh, if the content is given right properly. So here what is happening when I'm clicking on mine, so here we'll only understand about mine. The mining concept will for understanding the complete mining concept, you need to understand more terms, but for now let's put it aside and see what is happening here. So I gave one block number, I gave some data. Okay, now the algorithms thing is given that you need to find a hash. You it's not simply hashing. You need to hash in such a way that the first four characters should always be zero. So you see, if I give one and some other thing and here some other number, it will easily hash. So everyone will be able to hash. Now what is everyone again? Why you are saying everyone will do this and okay, let's put all this aside and see this again, because all that will come again in mining. So with which term? So that term needs some more terms to be understood. So let's go in sequence. Here I have block number, I have content. Now I said mine. It means when I click on mine, it means I'm saying that you try to find a hash by changing only this value. Okay, you change this value as per your wish, but finally my hash should have an output such that it will be of same length, of course, but the content of hash should be in such a way that the first four characters should be zero. Okay, let me repeat this once again. I'll give the block number as an input, I'll give the data as an input, and I'll click on mine. When I click mine, it means I'm saying that you try to find a hash such that the first four characters are 0. Now you know if it wants to change the content of the hash, it means it needs to change the input. So that input which I am saying that you take care of it is the nouns. Okay, so if I say 1, okay, then I have a different hash. If I say 2, then I have a different hash. If I say 3, then I have a different hash. If I have 4, then I have a different hash. But data I don't want to change, right? Data means I'm saying that hey, my name is Dpoint. So there the content should remain same. But I'm saying you can I'm giving you nouns, you modify it as per your wish, but overall give me a hash which is having first four characters as 0. Now why this restriction? We'll try to understand all this in the mining point. Okay, so for now when I click on mine, it will try to modify the content only of the nouns and try to generate a hash whose first four characters are zeros. Okay, now why is it 4? Can it be 5? Can it be 6? Yes, it can be. But who decides it? When is it changing? How is it impacted with respect to the demand and supply? Everything will come under the mining concept. Now let's say this is my content, this is my this, but it is not the first four characters is 0. So I'll click on mine and it will try to find a hash for me where first four characters is 0. But for this to happen, it went across all the nounces and finally came to know that 30401 is the content only when like if 30401 is the content, only then I can have hash with first four digits as 0. Now I hope the concept is clear. Here the data you see some gibberish value, right? My name is Dpoint and mine. But in every blockchain, as per the use case, as per the functionality, this data could be the list of transactions, could be your property papers, could be your NFT, could be your YouTube video, could be your any asset, could be a digital gold, could be anything, right? Here it is just we are pointing it as data, but instead of data, we can have anything. Now, this is a basic building block of the blockchain. A group of these things, like if I have 10 blocks and all the blocks should be linked, right? So that is called blockchain. Now, this was block. If I go to the blockchain, I hope you are getting the clear picture of what a block is here. Now, let's go to blockchain. Okay, so now we have only one new thing that you will seeing here is previous. Okay, so remaining everything in the block is same. Now here you see we don't have only one block, we have multiple blocks. Okay, now all those blocks are attached. Now because why they are attached, let's see in a moment. But because those all those things are attached, we call them as a block of chain of blocks. So that is where blockchain. So here let's see. Here I have okay, we'll talk about the second block, then we'll come to first block. So here you see my content is block number and this is going to be my data. Hi, my uh, do subscribe to support. Okay, now I have block, I have data, and the variable thing that it can do so as to get four zeros in my final hash is nouns. Now this part we already seen, right? Now what is previous here? Previous here means it is also acting as an input. So now here the input is block, nouns, data, and the previous. So what is previous? Previous is nothing but the hash or output of the previous block. So you see 40157 ending with E2, 40157 ending with E2. Okay, now if I say okay, now this is also one content, this is one content, this is the block number. Now when I click mine, it will try to update the nouns in such a that my final hash output should have four zeros as the initial digit. So I'll click on mine and let's see. Now since it's achieve the target, now it is having this, so it is green. You see the nouns number changed, but the next one all went to red. Why? Because there is some manipulation happened here. Because here the content is not correct. You see, so here the content is 407 and then something, but here it is 407. Okay, 911. There is some difference. 73 CCB 3816367. 8491 FEE 3FD2A. Is it all same? Then why oh, no. Yeah. So the previous is same. It got updated. You see, it has six triple B here. So the previous of the next block is already having. But this is fine. This is having the hash. But is it? This is again gone, right? This is not four zeros. That's why it's showing me red. So because the content changed here, this led to the change in the content of this. This led to the change of content of this. This led to the change of content of all further blocks which are ahead of this, right? So everything needs to be mined again so that it will have a hash with four zeros. So I'll click on mine again. Now you see this is green. Now this 0005 is properly reflected onto the next, but the next one is still red because the output is not having four zeros. So one more time I want to repeat here, the four zeros is a difficulty level. Who decides it, when it can be changed, and how it changes, or why should it even be changed, and why do we have this restriction? All these things you will get to know in the mining when we are trying to understand the mining part, and that is not in this demonstration. We'll try to understand the terminologies, these five terminologies in today's demonstration, followed by in the upcoming videos we are going to understand about the mining, but for them all these terms are very much essential. Okay, now I hope the point is clear. So if I put some more content here, it is already red because the final hash is not having the difficulty level, that is 40. So here let's say good morning, and I'll try to mine again. So now the input is 4 and this data and the previous hash, and it the nouns was variable, so as to get this hash. Now it is good. So similarly, I need to mine every block which is further ahead of me. That's why if I modify something, I need to mine everything. Now this concept is again required to understand why we call blockchain as immutable or not hackable or fully secure, those kind of things. Okay, so that was all about blockchain. Now I hope the block part is clear, blockchain part is clear. Let's move on to the distributed. So if we go to the distributed, okay, it's a loading. There we go. So let me minimize a bit. Yeah, I hope now it is clear. So you see, in the blockchain we had block and multiple blocks in a single row, right? But now we are having multiple rows here. Peer A, peer B, peer C, it means that those many people are maintaining the same blockchain. Okay, the same blockchain or a copies of a blockchain, uh, or I can say a stream in a blockchain. Okay, now everyone is maintaining that. So that is where the terminology distributed comes. So why are we having this? Okay, let's not click anything on the UI. Let's try to understand this a bit. So let's say there is 10 transaction. Okay, and tomorrow if someone tries to modify something on the second block, and then he'll keep on updating the whole block. So now you can see the complete blockchain is updated, but the original people will come and say, hey, the second transaction, it is not $100, it was $1,000. Why is it changed? So who will find out whether someone manipulated the content, or is it the person who is talking falsely? So who will identify all these things? Now for those things we have banks, right? But that is called centralized if some entity is maintaining it, right? That's where distributed comes. So it means that whatever happen, you will also maintain, I will also maintain, someone else will happen will maintain. Okay, now let's try to repeat this falsely scenario. Okay, someone will come and modify. Okay, let's try to do that here. Now I'll say I'm modifying. Okay, first block I'll put it as it is, second block I'll say instead of $10 it is $1,000, and I'll click on my. Okay, now I said mine. Now the next one is red because it doesn't have four zeros, right? So I'll say we'll mine this as well. Okay, let it find the nouns. You see 12937. Now after finding hash, this is changed. Okay, similarly I'll mine this block, and we'll try to see why we call it as this peer decentralized and all this thing. And similarly I'll mine. So you see I have three peers here, and the content of one pair was changed, and I mined everything. Okay, so I remind everything so that everything has now four zeros in its hash, and we are all set. Now tomorrow, I manipulated this content, right? So tomorrow if someone wants to verify it, how it will verify? So we'll simply go to the last block. Okay, no need to verify every block. We'll simply go to last block and we'll see here it is 000 F50 and something, right? Now let's see what is the second person is having. Second person is having 000E4. Third person is having what? Third person is also having 40C4. So it means this is the one which is okay. This is the content which is having less number of votes. Okay, so block B is also having let's say content to 2, and block C also having, peer B is having content to 2, peer C is having content to 2. So it means it means majority of vote went to 40 AE8. Okay, let me maximize this a bit. So you see, PRA is having four zeros 5, F5. PRB is having four zeros E4, and PRC is having 40 E4. It means the vote went, or the majority went with 40 E4. Means this is the one which is not in sync with the others, or some manipulation is done. So this peer is completely discarded. Now uh, once there is any differences in the blockchains, okay, then comes the majority or the voting. Like with that, the one which is not in sync or the one which is incorrect is deleted. So at this point of time, if it is if these three pairs were on the blockchain, at this moment of time, it will detect that this is the one which is differing from the other, that is majority. So all the minority things would be discarded or the deleted. So after this point of time, there would be no peer A, but only peer B and peer C. Okay, so this was just a very um, uh, count as nearly null, right? So like this, we'll have thousands and lakhs of copies. Now, who is maintaining it? How I can maintain it? How you can maintain it? How you will mine? Everything will come under the mining part. So that was all on this UI hash blockchain and distributed. I hope this makes sense. And the last terminology, token and coin and all the things that surrounds it, we thought of discussing in the same clip, but it seems already it is past more than 20 minutes, and consuming that much knowledge in the same video, I think it would be even tiresome, and it might even lead to the loss of interest. So let's not though it is in the making, so but we'll try to avoid in this video. We'll have a separate clip and I'll try to post it by Wednesday. So I hope you like the explanation so far, and the content that was discussed in today's video was already I gave the credit that person. You can find this thing in the open source as well. But the next clip, that is token and coin and all the things that surrounds it, is like completely animated. I'll not, I only my voice will be there, my pic and nothing will be there. So I hope that animation part I'm doing for the first time and you'll definitely like it. So uh, just let me know in the comment section how was the explanation in today's clip, and there would be definitely difference in the way that I explain in today's video and the animated video that is coming in the as a part 2, which is definitely on a different topic. But let me know in the comment sections of how you felt the explanation. Did you understand it, or any suggestion that you want me to bring in my upcoming videos? Let me know, and I am really waiting for all the comments. So thank you all, and that was the Namaste Crypto Series Category 1 Video 1 Part 1. So you will find the timestamp in the terminologies as well. So do subscribe the channel to support, and uh, let me know in the comment sections what you thought. Thank you.